Welcome, everyone, to the second half of the Underground Sound here. I am joined with Rich Davis and Carlos Fandango. As always, we are putting the us back into the music.
So please do like, subscribe, and share, and let's get your music out there.
Mr. Rich Davis, how did you enjoy the first half of the show?
Yeah, there was a good variety of music, and certainly some stuff that I wouldn't normally listen, but I'm always open to listening to different types of music because I appreciate what goes into it, what goes into making music, producing something, creating something from scratch. So it's nice to hear what different people do, and I like listening to different styles of music. So the first half I enjoyed it. It opens my eyes to what other people are doing. I think that's got to be a positive thing.
Yeah, it definitely is. That's where we really came up with the idea of putting the us back into music, is because it is musicians for musicians here and everything like that. So we definitely want to promote the stuff that you're not going to hear on the radio.
Yeah,
and for the most part, it is very, very, very great stuff. And just the last song that we heard before, Carlos Fandango's Mac decided to catch a fever, and now he's giving it an ice bath and patting it down with cold water and
whatever else.
Making it a bit of a submersible. So hopefully it's getting a little more frequent, but hopefully Carlos will be with us for the rest of the show here, right? So
hopefully so, yeah.
If not, we will still wait for him. So what do we got going on here, Carl, for track number 6?
All right, track number 6 is an artist called Harrison Dolan from New York in the USA. He says, "Hi, my name's Harrison, and I'm a multi-instrumentalist from New York and Rhode Island. I hope that my music will inspire others to be their true selves, breaking away from the mold rather than compromising what they really want to do." So, and he looks like he's the only influence he shares with me is David Bowie, but he's also got influences of, there's Steely Dan, Joni Mitchell, Kendrick Lamar, John Mayer, Bo Burnham, 21 Pilots. So quite a range of influences. And this song, I think, is called Sora's Piece.
Sora's Piece is as in piece of the pie, not like piece as in the Shaolin monk's piece. We have the song available on Spotify, iTunes, or Apple Music as it is known now. Is this Deezer? That's Tidal, actually. YouTube, Bandcamp, and SoundCloud. So he's got quite a few links out for this here. Talking about alternative pop and indie music. Harrison Doyle with Sora's Piece. Let's check it out.
Well, Kyrie left and my hair's a mess. I don't know why I try it, what I expect. My life's a wreck, running on the track in reverse. You can't leave town when you're stuck backwards. The look in your eyes got me risen from the grave. I can move both heaven and earth, but you complain. And we know round here that it stays the same. While the rain comes down, let's waste away.
This world that doesn't want me.
a bit of an abrupt ending here. Carlos Fandango, what say you, sir?
Right. Okay. So I think it's quite good from the start. You get that guitar and bass interaction. The bass is pretty good and funky. They go nicely together. It's been well produced. It's well put together. You got that slightly jazzy chord changes and unusual, clever chord changes of Steely Dan in there. So I can really hear their influence. The vocals, interestingly, it starts off almost like there's a sort of a Lou Reed style vocal, but then suddenly it turns into that he's doing sort of urban hip hop sort of kind of style. So Lou Reed doing hip hop, and then it turns into sort of with that sort of like a 60s influence with the high female octave above, vocal, with his low vocal. And then it goes into sort of like this wah pedal guitar solo that's kind of probably influenced by Prince and Steely Dan and that kind of thing. So I think I might have put in my comments on Slaps that it's quite a fusion of styles, and the song itself is on shifting sands, and it's forever changing. And then you've got that little bit at the end that's sort of just an unusual sort of weird, sort of unusual sort of odd end as well. And I quite like that. It's just an unsettled song. And again, I think the heaviest influence is definitely the Steely Dan thing, because they had that sort of jazz feel where the direction of the song could change on a sixpence, so or change on a dime, as you might say. But I really like that one. It's an unusual song. It's not like your regular radio friendly listening sort of song, but if somebody's into Prince, somebody's into jazz, Steely Dan, they're going to like this sort of one.
Mr. Rich Davis, how about your thoughts here?
Yeah, it's an interesting song. There's a lot of variety, in that song. I like the guitar, I like the bass. I think there was some slap bass in there, but it's a very funky track. You got changes in tempo. I'm sure when that guitar solo came in, there was a key change, which made it interesting. When it went, I don't know where, is it a wah guitar? It sounds like a guitar with an effect that's played. But yeah, it was interesting. It kept changing. It wasn't a track that was the same all the way through. It had a lot of changes, and I think the female vocal, so over the male vocal, I thought that worked really well. When that came in, the balance was nice, and it complemented both the vocals complemented each other really well. So yeah, I liked it because it was different. It's not normally what I would listen to, but there was a lot of variety in there. I like variety. I like changes in a song where the unexpected happens, and I think in that track the unexpected did happen a number of times. So for me it was different, but it was enjoyable to listen to. Well produced as well.
Yeah, I think the production was good. I don't know if either of you, I should say, would recall a band called the Flowbots. The Flowbots were pretty hot for a bit. They had a song called Handlebars, which was their most recognizable one. They did a kind of a politically themed album, but this right off the bat, it kind of reminded me of the Flowbots. But then it kind of like changed, right? Because they had this kind of like jazz infused kind of like rhythm, and the female vocals started coming in. And what I liked about the female vocals was when it started to switch into the midsection of the song. In the midsection of the song, the female vocals kind of like stopped and they went into the guitar solo, which really reminded me of, if you remember, like back in the day with Peter Frampton. Peter Frampton would put that tube in his mouth, right? And, and he'd basically wah the guitar with, with his vocals. And that's really where that kind of like took off for me. So I think a lot of Peter Frampton fans might like this jam here. Turned into a great guitar solo. The vocals and the male vocals kind of like being off pitch and on pitch at certain points kind of made it seem as if the song was kind of like speeding up or slowing down. But you really couldn't tell. That would be the only criticism that I would have here, in a quote unquote negative kind of like fashion, would be that maybe cut those pitch shifts out of the song and just kind of like leave the song as is, because I think that the song is working without those pitch shifts happening. Because that one was, I believe, 3:30. Was that what it was? About 3 minutes, 30 seconds.
Around that, yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that cutting the 10 seconds here and the 10 seconds there with the pitch shift would work just fine for this song. But overall, I mean, has like a nice rap hip hop style. Once again, jazz infused rhythm with this Peter Frampton element to it. I think that the song overall is very listenable. Very listenable. Might even be, playlistable. So check it out. If you don't know where to find these artists yet and you like that song, the description of the video below will contain the links to these artists. Find these artists, go show some love. I always love that Carlos is the last comment.
Often.
Often, yeah, because I know that Carlos does actually like to listen to these songs all the way through and absorb them, and then finally kind of like give a final thought, kind of like a Jerry Springer style, right? When you used to have Jerry Springer on TV, Jerry Springer always have final thoughts after everybody else kicked each other's asses. You would have Jerry's final thought, and so.
Or Columbo, and another thing.
Yeah,
another thing. When he's walking off, he'd turn around, wouldn't he? And
that's it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Put his finger up.
Oh, yes, it Carlumbo.
Carlumbo. The English pronunciation, all right. The proper English pronunciation, Columbo.